Hello team, welcome back to the channel. We're here back at, let that lorry go past, back at Blade Motorcycles, where today they're letting me take out, I've never ridden it before, the Kawasaki Versys. This is the S version, so it's in the middle. You've got the standard Kawasaki Versys 1000, then you have the S and the SE. This is the S. I've been interested in this bike for a long time. Straight off the bat, I'm not sold on the looks, but they may grow on me. But the engine on it, it's the inline 4-cylinder, which Kawasaki just do a fantastic job at making these motors. Could this be the most underrated adventure bike on the market? You don't see a lot of them around, but I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a special bike. Stay tuned, let's find out how she rides. Alrighty, here we go. First ever ride on a Kawasaki Versys, and this is the 1000S version. This very bike is actually for sale from Blade, so at the end of this, if you like the look of it, give them a shout. But let's see how she rides first. Thank you so much, Blade, for letting me take out this bike for the day. Always very much appreciated to get a first ride on these bikes. Oh God. We'll go over the figures later. I believe it's around 110 brake horsepower and something like 102 Newton meters of torque. But Kawasaki just know what they're doing with 4-cylinder engines, don't they? I've always been really interested in this bike because, if I'm being completely honest, straight off the bat, I'm not a massive fan of the looks. It comes in two colours. You can get this sort of Kawasaki green. Up close, actually, it's really quality paintwork. I'm just not sure about the looks yet. Or you can pretty much get it in that colour, that sort of black with the red stripes on it. I would personally go for the black. Really interested in this because I don't see many of them around. You don't see very many videos of them on YouTube or anything, so I don't really know that much about it, but I've been interested purely for the what's this going on, mate? Purely for the reason of the engine. After riding the Ninja 1000 SX, that engine is just so nice, and to have that prospect in a sort of, I wouldn't describe this as an adventure bike, I'd more call it a sports tourer. It's got 17-inch wheels. How could that possibly be an adventure bike? You're not going off-road on this machine, but it's got the dimensions of an adventure bike. Oh, it's got a quick shifter as well, sweet. Oh God. First off impressions, not let down by the engine at all. It really does, I mean, pretty much the same engine as in the 1000 Ninja. So if you've ever ridden one of those, you can imagine what it's like. It's just creamy smooth motor, and the quick shifter is very nice as well, yeah. But first off the bat, going around that roundabout there, it felt a bit sort of flighty at the front end. It may be just because I have just hopped off a Yamaha MT-07. We shall see. It's extremely easy to ride, as all of these modern machines are in town. It's pretty big. There's immediate impressions of the frontal area here, the cockpit for want of a better term. Very big screen at the front, great wind protection, and actually one of the nicer looking dashes to me, it's got a nice old school analog rev counter, which is good. I'm a fan of that. Much more characterful vibe. But it's also got a nice little, quite small, but little full colour TFT screen there. So yeah, first off, very, very simple to ride. You've got your mode buttons here, which you just press and hold, and it changes your modes. We're in sport at the moment, road there, and terrain, and back to sport. So I think we'll keep it in sport. Comes standard with cruise control. You've got your heated grips, which is lovely for those long rides. You want that on this type of adventure bike. Sports tourer, I don't know what I'll call it. I think it's a sports tourer. So the screen's really large. It's in its lowest setting at the moment. But, ooh, steady. Oh, that engine's just so good. Whee! Yeah, it's in its lowest setting, but you adjust the screen with these toggles here. So you can't do it on the move because you need two hands, which is not the end of the world, but I do prefer, like on the Ducati Multistrada or the new Tiger 1200, just a latch up and down. You do it with one hand easily. You can't do that on this. You have to stop and twist those toggles there. Right, I'll catch up with you in a second when we're out of town and I know the bike a bit better. See you in the next shot. I've just stopped to fuel up and have a coffee because I am shattered. Had a weekend up seeing some acquaintances and doing some work in London, so yeah, it's been pretty full on recently, but got to keep the caffeine going. First off, say this key's a little bit tricksome. It's got a 21 litre fuel tank. That's your only option. I like a 21 litre fuel tank. I think it's a good sized tank. I think the 30 litres on the GS Adventures and the new Tiger Explorers are a little bit too much. The seat is 840mm. I'm 5'9". I've got a relatively, for my size, longer leg inseam at 32 inches, and I can, a bit of a stretch, bit of a squeeze, just about flat foot it. So yeah, it's not the tallest. I haven't quite got the hang of this key yet. This must probably me. There you go. Not quite sure how I did that, it just worked. I'll catch you in a bit. We'll get on some faster roads, see what she's all about. Thank you, Subway, for your wonderful coffees. So apologies, we're not on the faster roads yet, but I just wanted to say, in town here going 30 miles an hour, really clear dash, which is nice. We're in third gear. The engine is, it's so smooth. It's no problem at all. There's no clattering or anything at these low speeds. Very nice at these slower speeds, the Versys is. Very, very comfortable. Yeah, so what's she like on these faster roads where this sort of motorcycle is going to be used the whole time? Well, it's raining. Yeah, it's very nice. I've got the windscreen set in its lowest position, but even there, like I say, I'm 5'9". I've got some wind on the top of my head, but actually the wind protection is very good. Better than a lot of other adventure bikes. You can see it when you first get on the bike. It's a big area, like cockpit area, so the wind protection's really good, and on its highest setting, I think that would be a great screen actually. The wing mirrors, very impressive, much like on the Yamaha. Lots of the Yamahas, nice long wing mirrors, and there's brilliant vision out the rear view. So you've got cruise control, obviously it's not radar guided, it's just standard cruise control on and off, and you can adjust up and down with the arrows there. Very comfortable, no complaints really. We're going 73 miles an hour, 6th gear, just over 4,000 RPMs. No problem at all. If I roll on, yeah, she starts singing. We're turning off here. Oh, she's lively. Yeah, very nice. Like I say, in comparison, I've just jumped off with the MT-07, so obviously this is a fair bit more powerful. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not gelling quite as well with the this version of the inline 4 as I was with the SX, the Ninja. I need to get used to it a bit more. I mean, it's very smooth, it's just as smooth, and we'll ring it out in a bit and see what that top end's like. I can imagine it's very nice, but it's just not matching up. I was getting on this bike thinking, why is everyone not buying one of these, An adventure bike with an inline 4-cylinder, what could be bad about it? There's a reason, a reason why these adventure bikes, shout in the comments if you have an opinion on it, but a reason why these adventure bikes, they like that torque. And the twins, they're mainly built with the twins, even the Ducati Multistrada V4S with the excuse my language, come on. Just chucked a plastic bottle out of the window. Not good for anyone, mate. Could have put that in the bin. Sorry. Yeah, even the V4 in the Multistrada is tuned to be more like a twin and have more torque. There's a reason for that, and I'm guessing, God, is this guy drunk? Sorry, he's putting me off, this chap in front. He's throwing plastic bottles out the window and nearly crashing into the hedge. There's one thing about motorbiking, you do notice, because you're so aware, you notice, and it annoys you even more, especially when you're tired, if other drivers are driving stupidly. Anyway, well, whilst I was doing that, I'll knock it up into 6th gear, going 40 miles an hour. And it's so tractable, this inline 4, there's just no problems, no grumbles at all. Very nice, and you can roll on from 40. Yeah, and she picks up. Lovely. here comes the rain. Well, this is what these bikes are built for, I suppose. Oh, let's see how it does in adverse conditions. Well, it's great protection up the front. My legs are well, not bone dry, but pretty dry. Yeah, having ridden this for a bit longer now, I'm starting to get the feel for it and get a bit more used to it. Yeah, okay, I take back the earlier comment of the engine not being as nice in this as in the Ninja. It's not quite as nice as it is in the Ninja. Of course, slippy roads, but it does make sense in a bike like this. I would more describe it as, I don't know. Well, it's smooth really, isn't it? That wasn't a very in-depth description. It's smooth, it's very fast. It's not as exciting as a punchy V-twin. Obviously the 1290 KTM is just so much more powerful. That thing's a beast. It doesn't have as much character as those. Like when you're mid rev range and you come on the throttle, this in comparison to those twins, obviously because they've got more torque, but it's not as immediate. You don't get that nice rush. It's a smoother, slower, slightly lazier power delivery, but it's obviously got higher revs. It revs higher, so there's more to play with, to hang on to in the rev range. And it starts to become pretty fun. It's quite a mature riding proposition, if I may say so myself, these inline fours. If you can get past the looks, it's well worth the ride. It's not as characterful and as peppy, if you like, as the twins, the parallel twins or the V twins or even the triples, but it's a lot smoother and more comfortable ride. Also, I believe it's got 17-inch wheels, so the handling is very nimble, nice and neutral when you come into the corners. It's just relaxing. There's no worries of a 21-inch wheel, you know, up front, where you're going to be thinking, oh god, am I going to make it around this corner? That's not a problem at all. So it's meant to be a nice little quaint little church down here that we can go and have a look at. Nice fields. I love it when it's like, what is that? Is it wheat? I have no idea. I'm not knowledge up on that, but it's nice and sort of brown and tarnished. Oh, look at this church. That's beautiful. So let's stop here and have a little chat over a few of the numbers. What do I think of the Versys 1000S? Is it a highly underrated adventure bike? It's more of a sports tourer really. It's got 17-inch wheels. It's really got no intentions of going off-road. It's got the cast alloy wheels, 17-inch rims. Also with that 4-cylinder engine, you wouldn't really want that off-road. It's not got the immediate torque and the low down pull that you want off-road. But as an on-road concept, the looks you have to take for yourself. I could get over the looks actually. They're not ideal. Picture this for a second. Imagine if Kawasaki made like a retro adventure bike style, a bit like the Ducati Desert X, but if they did it in the form of like the Z900 RS Kawasaki, but with this engine in an adventure bike form, that would be awesome. Surely that would sell by the bucket loads. Do it, Kawasaki. I want a commission on everyone you sell. Yeah, that would be an awesome bike. I'd go for that because the motor in this is really sweet. It's just great for road riding. It takes a while to get used to because it's not like a traditional adventure bike with the twin, basically, with the torque. So it's a different style of riding, but once you're used to it, like I say, it's very much road focused, but it's just so comfortable on road, so tractable in every gear from any RPM, and it's just so smooth as well. You could really ride it for a long time. Like I say, the wind protection is great on it. I found the seat really comfortable actually. So guys, I actually just dropped my camera, so apologies if the footage was a bit blurry back there. It fell off the tripod, but it seems to be all right now. I've done the old turn off, turn on again. My technical mind seems to have done the job. Let's just go some specs. On suspension, you've got obviously twin forks up front, 43mm inverted forks with 150mm of travel. On the rear suspension, you have a horizontal backlink gas charge with rebound and preload adjustability with 152mm of travel. And you adjust the preload, guys, in case you don't know, with this little toggle here. There's an H and an S. H for hard, S for soft. Right, onto the brakes. You got two 310mm discs with four piston calipers on each disc. Yeah, brakes very nice. Looks as though they're Kawasaki branded actually, so yeah, nice job Kawasaki on the brakes. Rear brakes, never the most exciting. You have one 250mm disc with a single piston Nissin caliper on the rear. Alrighty, let's mount the old girl, as they say. Obviously you can have panniers fitted, top box fitted on the rear here. It's actually a nice rack here. It's a substantial bike for touring. It's really a bit a big piece of kit, in a good way I mean that, not in a cumbersome way. One of the major benefits of that inline 4 is that engine, and it sounds very, very sweet. Sounds like a real race bike, you know, fast, sporty bike. So it's a really peachy sound. Right, let's hit the road again. I'm just going to show you a couple of extra features that I have never experienced on another motorcycle. Some nice houses around here. Incredible. Nice area just outside of Swindon. Another few little gadgets this bike has. I've got the screen in its highest position now. And actually, yeah, it's a really high screen. I'm almost looking through it. I would say for me it's too high, which generally I like a big screen. I like to put them in their highest settings personally. It's too high. I would have to bring it down, which is fine. You just bring it down a touch. But if you're a taller person, yeah, the screen will be brilliant for you. It's great wind protection. A few of the other features you've got, which are quite fun. They're a bit silly really, like I don't think they're not essential features at all, but if you see down here you've got your lean angle, which a green bar goes left and right and shows you how much you're leaning, and then on the left you have like a bird's eye view of a motorbike, and you have a blue sort of blob on it, and that goes forwards or backwards depending on your braking or acceleration. You've actually also got this graph here. If I brake now, see that bar going up. Then I accelerate, the blue one goes up. It's quite cool. It is a cool feature. I do like that. It is completely pointless. I don't think it adds to any aspects of your riding, but it is good to have it there. It's a bit like sort of fighter jet. It is a cool feature. I think more people should do that. Yeah, this wind protection is great. I've got my visor open. I don't know if you can hear wind in the mic, but usually it would be blasting a lot, but it feels like it's not. The handling is a very strong point of this bike. It's a great proposition for long tours, this. My overall conclusion, I mean, look at this, there's a massive house behind there as well. Beautiful place. Yeah, is it the most underrated adventure bike? Tough one to say, because I actually don't see this as an adventure bike. It's a sports tourer, but I think it's definitely underrated. I think if you're just used to the same old, well, let's go and ride a BMW GS, or let's go and ride, you know, one of the twins, or the bikes that are tuned to be torquey, you are definitely missing out. I would say this is underrated. It's a naughty engine up top. One thing I would say is I would opt, it's a lot more money, but that electrical adjustable suspension would be nice, or I might just stiffen up the front a bit, because when you pick up some real pace it is a little bit wallowy on the front end and it's not ideal, but that would just need some adjusting. But overall guys, I think this is a very much underrated motorcycle. It's a very comfortable, exciting, smooth, good handling sports tourer basically, and you're sat upright, and the price isn't too bad either. Would I have one? I don't know. I think there's other stuff on the market that would take me personally, but that's just riding style. Oh, little bunnies. Hello fellas. Cool. Well, thank you for watching guys. I'm going to go home and rest for a little bit now. Not that you needed to know that. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Many thanks to Blade Motorcycles again for letting me test ride one of their beautiful motorcycles. Yeah, this bike is for sale, team. So if you're looking for a nice Kawasaki Versys 1000S at a good price, give Blade Motorcycles a shout. You can come and test ride this very one. As you can see, it's in really good condition. Everything's working. I haven't had any problems. See you in the next one. Ah, some honey for sale. Till next time, stay happy, ride safe. Ciao Bella.